Hello D's, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. We are in Santa Pola right now because we will be taking the famous boat towards the Tabarca island. Let's go. There are several ways to get here. One of them is to take the boat from Benidorm. On Saturdays it goes direct. The other way is to grab a boat from here, from Santa Pola. There's different types of boats here with submarine vision, without it, and there's even a speed boat here. In Alicante, there is Alicante Tabarca boat that also leaves every certain time. You can get all the timetables just by searching in Google Alicante Tabarca, Santa Pola Tabarca, or Benidorm Tabarca. We've chosen this speed boat, which will bring you in just 15 minutes towards the island, but other boats are available as well, and they take around 30 minutes. First of all, we started to go slow, but then once we exited the port, it started to go faster and faster. And it's great because if you can get like motion sickness, seasickness, then it's great because it's just 15 minutes of time. It doesn't take as much of a time as a boat will do. Ticket prices are also different. If you travel from Benidorm, it's the most expensive one. If you go from Alicante, it's around 20 euros. Benidorm is around 30 per person. And these boats from Tabarca are only 9 euros if you book it online. And just like that, we arrived towards the island of Tabarca. Tabarca is a very small island for those of you who do not know, and it's very close to the town of Santa Pola in the province of Alicante. It's also the largest island in the Valencian community and the smallest permanently inhabited one in the whole entire Spain. And it's very well known for its marine reserve and as a touristic location. Before 1700, this island was known as St. Paul's Island, or a flat island. This place was as a refugee place for Barbary pirates up till the 18th century, and used as a base for raids on the Levantine coast. Just imagine that. Probably there might be some treasures still hiding somewhere around. And afterwards, in this area in 1760s, the Charles III of Spain ordered the fortification and repopulation of the Spanish island. There was a group of Genoese sailors who had been shipwrecked near the Tunisian Tabarca. They were rescued and settled right here. They were first moved to Alicante, but then eventually towards the island. Over the time, obviously, they've abandoned their language in favor of Valencian and then obviously Spanish. Mostly right now, people do speak Spanish, although you can find someone who uses Valencian. In other words, this is an island with a lot of history. Just look at the water. We just arrived at the port and the water is crystal clear. While we will be walking down the island of Tabarca, don't worry, we will continue with the story that it has to tell. First of all, we went out of the boat, and on the tickets, which you can see here on the screen, they put on the backside the timetable for when you can return from Tabarca Island. So don't worry, there's always plenty of time to enjoy. There's a couple of times a day when they skip one of the trips, I suppose for lunch or for break of staff, but usually whole day long they are picking people up non-stop from here and bringing them back towards the peninsula. Whenever you go with a boat, you are able to bring your own umbrellas, even your mini fridges. You can see people are bringing everything that they need for the beach, and it is allowed without an extra cost. There are many different calas situated in this area, not only the main beach, which is why people are getting dispersed in different locations and destinations. The main one, obviously, is the beach where you have paid sunbeds too. We are heading exactly there. Let's see what we can find. So the first challenge is something that happened now here on the beach. They do have some sunbeds that are pre-booked. However, a lot of them don't have any signs on it. So we've seen a lot of people that are coming, just putting their towel, installing themselves. And once they are installed, there's a person coming and saying, hey, this place is booked. You don't have any signs saying that it's booked. And it's just your word against theirs. They're just saying, well, I don't care, it's booked, like search for any other place. I'm not sure if they're trying to sell it slightly more expensive than it is, but and there's no place. There are probably some places online maybe where you could potentially book it, or like book it through the companies that do sell like the boats to come here, but some of them like are booked and are kind of paid. So you need to be careful with that. We will check out this information, and if there is any kind of official website where you could pre-book the sunbeds out here, we will let you know, and we will leave you a link down below. But so far we didn't see anything like this. The truth is that you can pay with card or cash, that's true, but free booking sunbeds, that's kind of new. Last year at least it wasn't the case out here. There are two very different sides of Tabarca. One of them is more historical part. It's where the fortresses and towers are located, the old lighthouse, and the natural reserve area. It is on the sunshine. There is not a lot of shade, almost at all. But if you come here early in the morning, you will be able to have some lovely walk and make a whole big route around the island, and it's definitely worth doing so to enjoy the gorgeous views and the nature surrounding this beautiful island of Tabarca. The old part of the town is situated right in front, and don't worry, we will be heading there eventually in today's video. We are heading towards where the main beach is located, and just fast forward, speed it up just a tiny bit, we are looking at numerous boats that are just stopping here at the bay, because this place is ideal for relaxing and for snorkeling or scuba diving. This marine life is so rich that many people are bringing their own masks to enjoy everything these waters, crystal clear waters, are hiding. Let's head towards the main part of Tabarca while we talk slightly more about the area. In 1850s, at the end of the 19th century, this area has the biggest amount of population. It was around 1,000 people that were mainly devoted to fishing. In the early 21st century, however, the permanent population was only around 50, which obviously made it the smallest permanently inhabited Spanish island. This is the marine life that you can actually find here. We have langost, we have different types of fish, sepia, we have calamars, we have a lot hiding in these crystal clear Mediterranean Sea waters. And now you know why so many people are with masks. Just look at this, enjoying their day at the island of Tabarca. The main activity of a few people that lived here before was fishing, with the catch brought to Santa Pola's fish market. But tourism becomes the most important resource during the summer season, especially in July and August. We came here at the end of July. You will see this video probably a day or two after it's been recorded only. It is Saturday for us, so probably you'll see it on Sunday. And this place lives from tourism now. In some restaurants here, you have an offer 15 euros per person, some tinto de verano plus some grilled fresh fish. A lot of people do say that they've never ever tried such a tasty fish, grilled one, as they've tried here on the island of Tabarca. So it's definitely recommended for you to stop at some restaurant and just have some nice plate of fried fish. You will definitely thank us later for that idea. Here we have 40 euros, bread, tomato, alioli, salad, fried fish, langoustines, and rice, 40 euros. That might not be as bad. Obviously, the island has different prices as well. We recommend you to get a menu. If you do not want to spend a whole fortune, a menu is always a great option. For example, you can grab menus for 20 euros per person with a lot of things included. Here's one of them actually in this place. I'm not sure if I can film because there's a police officer. Sorry if I cannot. Menu special 20 euros per person. Tabarca menu 32 euros per person. And it's quite full, and they always come here to inform you about what the menus are looking like, what is included, and it's like an old Spanish style, when all the menus were written by hand on the billboards. That is very, very interesting. There are also slightly cheaper options. You can only get a like tapas variations, and people just do not stop arriving. Look at this. These catamarans, these boats, just come here non-stop. There's even a queue sometimes to be able to arrive and drop off all the people. That is insane. I'm quite sure by midday it's going to be so full it's not going to be possible to be here. So we are lucky that we've arrived first thing in the morning. We were one of the first ones, one of the first boats that arrived here, and look at that. We just arrived, well, we arrived like 20 minutes ago, probably half an hour ago, but even now, this is how many people there are already here. First thing in the morning, which is the best if you come here in summer. So there are restaurants and bars with cheaper tapas, with bocadillos, and different types of snacks. So you don't need to spend a whole fortune. There is a local police here. There is a lifeguard station and like a Red Cross in case you need a doctor or you need something if something happens, then this is where you're able to go. This is where also the bathrooms are located, right next to the beach. There is open air showers to clean yourself up after the beach day. There's some place in the shade that people are taking if they don't want to spend some money on the umbrellas and on the sunbeds, which by the way all have different price, and it is very strange because it's kind of they tell you, well, give me this, and you never know if it's actually the price because it's not stated anywhere. That's one of the worst things probably about coming here to the island. So we did pay for two sunbeds and for an umbrella 25 euros, which I think it is quite expensive. In our area it costs equally 6 euros, so we would pay 18. Here we pay 25 for the whole entire day. And there are three lines of the umbrellas and the sunbeds. And I think the hour was the last one, so it was 25, but people in front of us did pay 35. So I can only imagine how much does it cost on the front line of the beach. And we did ask at the end, where can you book the sunbeds if you fancy to do so. At the sunbeds can be booked in only two restaurants. You can call them. The one where the menu costed 20 euros, that is one of the places where you can potentially book the sunbeds. And you need to pay them in advance, and they will just put booked on them for you to arrive and have everything ready waiting for you. Some more places here, 15, 20 euros menu price. That's more or less the average towards the lower price of the menu here in the area, depending on what you would like to choose. But there is also a la carte. This part right here of the island is the old town kind of, or the town itself, because before we were on the beach and in the natural reserve. This is where the official town was, inside of the fortress, protected from the pirates and from everyone who would want to get this beautiful island. Inside you can find some souvenir shops where you can get some reminder of your visit towards Tabarca Island. There are a couple of lovely typical Spanish squares where you can sit down, grab some drinks, just enjoy the views and see people passing by. Obviously, the biggest amount of businesses here will be, without a doubt, the restaurants, bars, and cafeterias. Just a couple of shops around every now and then. Oh, there's even some properties on sale here. That is interesting. Maybe some of you would want to live here. Usually people who live here at the island, they mostly are working in tourism, or they're living here and working outside in Santa Pola. By the way, a lot of people think that Tabarca Island is part of Santa Pola, but the thing is that it is not actually true. Tabarca is a part of the city of Alicante, and administratively it is managed as a rural district of Alicante, which is very interesting. I'm not sure a lot of you knew about it. Curious thing about Tabarca. Tourism right now, obviously, it's the main economical activity, especially in summer. And there are boats, as we mentioned already, connecting with Alicante, Santa Pola, Torrevieja, and Benidorm. Benidorm mostly during the summer time. It has a semi-arid climate, similar to the climate that we have in the city of Alicante. And it doesn't rain here a lot either. Extreme temperatures are milder than the average temperatures as well, because, well, we are an island in the Mediterranean Sea. So obviously, temperatures usually do not go above 35 in summer or under 5 in winter season. Being in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea also makes the water slightly more cold than it would be by the seashore at the peninsula. For example, in Benidorm, Alicante, Torrevieja, the water might be of around 26 to 27 degrees. Here it would be like 23 to 24, more or less. But still, July and August are great for swimming, and the water doesn't feel cold almost at all. One of other curiosities that you might be interested in about Tabarca is that actually Tabarca is a protected marine reserve called Reserva Marina de la Isla de Tabarca. There is a variety of marine fauna, which we've seen already on the billboard, right at the wilder part of the island, including sea bass, grouper, conger eel, and gilthead, and much, much more. And it also was declared a zone of special protection for birds by the European Union. Even though there are so many boats coming here to the island, and it is basically the only public transport the inhabitants of this island have to connect with the peninsula, the water still is extremely unpolluted and crystal clear. We got some menu here. Just look at that, 15 euros for a menu, and then you have bocadillos and burgers and fries, fried fish, 10 euros, 6, 7, 8. We've just been given that like as an advertisement. They give it to you like every single part where you go. They try and give you some advertisements about the place, where to go. Obviously, it's their business. It's how they survive. So you will get a lot of pamphlets and flyers here in the area to choose the best place where you will be spending some lunch break or even an evening meal if you stay here for later hours. By the way, dinner is up until like 11, 12 p.m. at night. Thus, a lot of the times the boat trips are up until late hours as well, to be able to bring last people from Tabarca Island towards the peninsula. And there are also some hostels and like small rural hotels here, which is in case you want to stay here for the night, or if you finish late at night, you would be able to have a place to stay. I'm quite sure people are even sleeping on the beach, some of them, if there is not enough space in the accommodation options nearby, because there's only a few of them located here on the island. Coming back towards the island itself, you already know that the water is very clear. It's unpolluted water. Even though there's a lot of boats, it's marine protected area. But the island also has a very interesting sand by the beach, it is gray. It's not white, it is gray. And this is because the island is formed by materials of volcanic origin on top of limestone and quaternary deposits. So it's not a typical island either. This was also the last Spanish Mediterranean location where the critically endangered Mediterranean monk seal successfully bred before it became extinct, sadly, in the 1960s. Just look at that. There is even more calas and more areas for snorkeling than we initially thought there will be. People are just spreading around the island and finding some unique places where to settle and where to enjoy the beach. And there is some more boats that keep arriving towards the island. You are also able to cross this small part right here and get into the teeny tiniest piece of island right there in front to stay in the area where it's quieter during the day. The town part does not look too busy right now. There's only a few people that are having a lovely walk, enjoying the historical part of Tabarca, and obviously the views are the main attraction out here. Right there away from us with this small fog, we're able to see our mountain of Benidorm. The left side of it is where Santa Pola is located, and straight is the Alicante, the city of Alicante. An authentic jewel of an island located nearby to us, which is why so many people are coming here, which is why there's so many boats offering this attraction. And if you do have an option to get here, either from Benidorm, if you want, from Benidorm on Saturdays only, there is a direct trip that goes Benidorm to Tabarca, and you spend there the whole day, and at 4 in the evening, they pick you up, and it's around 1.5 hour trip each way with a submarine vision catamaran with inside and outside parts to enjoy it. If you do not want to go such a long way with it, it's around 30 euros per person, as we've mentioned. And if you don't want to wait until Saturday, from Alicante, there's a direct catamaran as well, direct boat that goes towards Tabarca Island every hour or so. So make sure you check it out. And it takes around 1 hour to get there. From Santa Pola, however, I know it might be difficult for you to arrive here, especially if you don't have a rented vehicle. If you do, that's not an issue. It took us around 15 minutes to get from Benidorm towards Santa Pola by the highway. But if not, you could always take it from Benidorm or Alicante. And a lot of people are arriving here mostly for that, to enjoy some nice, freshest seafood and fish, to discover some history of Tabarca Island, and to enjoy its marine reserve. By the way, all the waters around Tabarca were declared a marine reserve in 1986, and this was the first of its kind here in Spain. The status was mainly granted due to the submarine Posidonia Prairie, which is the largest in the Spanish Mediterranean Sea, and has extraordinary ecological value in terms of marine fauna and flora. There was also an artificial reef laid near the island by the marine reserve authorities to help the original species to live here quietly. There is a lovely, which looks like kind of a church here on the left side that you've just seen. However, it's closed. It is not possible to access it. So mainly the old type of buildings are located here nearby, but you are not able to access it as it is. There are other things that you are able to see here on the island. There is a small museum, by the way, which I'm not sure if you knew that existed here. And there are some specific passes that go around every hour, if I'm not wrong. So you're able to get inside, and there's like a movie as well that explains you the history of Tabarca about its region, its roots, when it emerged, when it was created, and what it is right now in the days. So definitely recommend for you to see everything that Tabarca has to offer, not only the beach. Have a walk around its small, cozy streets just to see what it looks like. Not only the streets where shops are located, but maybe slightly outside, like these ones. This is where the locals live. This is where you can find so many interesting and unique corners to discover. For example, this one right here, this is another small square. As you can see, it is surrounded by the castle, by the tower, like a fortress walls. And there's even kitties living here. Look at that. They calmly live here on the island. No one is touching them. Have their own houses here. They're being well fed and they enjoy the day in the shade of the local trees, which is very, very nice to see. From here, there are people thought they were able to go there. It looks like a tunnel. Look at that. Well, it is a fortress after all. At least it was long, long time ago. And from here, there are even more different accesses towards small beach areas. In front of us, we have the port, which is where we arrived to. This is like a fast catamaran, but it's not like a speedboat. It is more or less the same. It takes you 15 minutes, but it's slightly bigger. There is a boat, which is the one that we took as well, and it's from the same company. It's called Tabarca, if I'm not wrong. Very good company, great service as well. We were kind of happy we took it because it's just €9 per person, 8 for children. And in 15 minutes, you are already here and you don't waste time on traveling, but you still get to enjoy the views at the same time. We do recommend you to bring some sunscreen, some sun hats. If you want to bring your own umbrella or chairs or anything, you're more than welcome. Mini fridges or like fridges with some refreshing drinks and snacks, food also are allowed. Remember that. If you want to grab the sunbeds here and umbrellas, make sure you pre-book them if you want like a first line, better spaces where to enjoy. There's children on their own here just walking around. I couldn't be more curious about it. There's smaller children that are here original from the island. They are just walking down the island without any kind of issues at all, feeling safe, which makes it a very special place to be, doesn't it? After you enjoy everything that the island has to offer, obviously you would need to get back to take the boat, and you will need to go to exactly the same place where normally the boat is leaving you here at the island. And this is what we did. This was the boat that we took today. However, we decided we will wait for the catamaran, which we can see right there in front of us. We need to wait up until it arrives here. So meanwhile, we decided to give some bread towards the fish that are here in the bay. You can see them clearly inside of the water. And the amount of marine life that you have here is absolutely astonishing. The second catamaran as well that we've seen in the port too dropped a lot of people and is departing now. And this is our one. It's exactly the same company that has the speedboats and the speed catamaran. So this is another one that we are waiting, mostly because we wanted to go slightly slower, even though it still goes quite fast, I must say. But it does not jump through the waves as much. So we thought it's going to be better. Gracias. And we were almost the only ones. We went to see this submarine vision, and there were so many fishies out here accompanying us inside of this trip. Just look at this. And then we slowly started to move, which means that we need to go up because it's only available to see the submarine vision while we are standing here by the island of Tabarca. There's literally almost no one. So we got to enjoy a lot the views. We got to walk around the catamaran. We got to go to the top, to the bottom, towards the front of it, towards the back, to enjoy everything that we could because there were no people. This is how it looks like from the back, so you can see that it does go quite fast. And there's the island of Tabarca. In no time, we've arrived already to Santa Pola, which is the city that we have in front of us, and the port as well. This is what Tabarca Island is looking like. You should arrive here earliest in the morning because afterwards, right now it's not even midday yet, and there's plenty of people. The sea is full, the beach is packed. There's so many people arriving non-stop. The bars, book it in advance as well. Reserve it once you arrive here. Only like this you will be able to get some nice spot to have some lunch, some meal, and a spot by the beach. Even paid sunbeds. 2 sunbeds with an umbrella for 25 euros. These are the prices right now out here. Thank you for accompanying us on today's lovely walking tour down the famous already Tabarca Island. We'll see you in a new video. Bye, dears.